Ravi. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about a graph that is key to understand success in any given field. Let me begin by asking you a question. If I gave you two options to choose from, which one would you choose? $1 million in your pocket right now, or a penny in your pocket that doubles in value for 31 days? A penny is 100th of a dollar. Which one would you pick? Most people would choose the million in the pocket right away. However, the doubling penny actually ends up becoming $10.7 million in 31 days. Here's how. I have this board where I have chalked out 31 days, and you can see that it actually becomes $10.7 million. But what is even more insightful is the majority of the growth happens at the very end. Look at this. 1 penny on day 1, 2 penny on day 2, 4 penny on day 4. It takes 8 days to actually cross $1. By the 15th day, you only have reached $164. But in another 7 days, that is by day 22, you have reached $21,000. And in another 6 days, that is day 28, you have crossed your 1 million. But here's the magic. In a mere next 3 days, you have crossed $10.7 million. Now, this is the principle of compounding. The big exponential breakout is happening at the very end. And this is a law, nature's principle, and it applies to almost everywhere. You must have heard why overnight success takes 10 years. Have you seen sometimes out of nowhere a talent bursts into a scene and becomes a spectacular success? He could be a new author that you never heard of him before, a new Wimbledon champion, a new public speaker, or a new stand-up comedian. Even that person is unable to process the spectacular success that he suddenly attracts, because for him, he has been working as hard for the last 10-15 years. And this is because he or she is reaping the benefit of exponential breakout that only shows in the last few years, just as I showed in the board. The individual's skill may have been average when he began. The results of his efforts were minor. However, he kept improving at it little by little, consistently year after year on this skill. And suddenly he achieves massive success, just like a penny becomes $10 million in the last 3 to 4 days. This phenomenon can be plotted in this graph. As you can see, with time, the growth is super slow in the beginning, but it tips big time sometime later. The big lesson in this graph is that small consistent improvement over time yields massive results. By improving 1% isn't particularly notable in beginning, but a difference of a tiny improvement can make over time is astounding. The same is the case with habits. Habits, in fact, are the compound interest of self-improvement. Habits like meditation and exercise won't be showing you results in the initial days, but will be enormous after its due time. The same way that money multiplies throughout compound interest, the effects of your habits multiply as you repeat them. This can be a difficult concept to appreciate in daily life. We often dismiss small changes because they don't seem to matter very much in the moment. If you save a little money now, you still are not a millionaire. If you go to the gym 3 days in a row, you're still out of shape. If you study a new language for an hour tonight, you still haven't learned the language. We make a few changes, but the results never seem to come quickly, and so we lose patience and give up and go back to old ways. Apply this to your life, and if you're a parent, teach this principle to your kids when they are very young. Sticking long enough and improving little by little consistently is the key to success in any field you want to. There is another missing element though, which is about the kind of practice one needs to incorporate in the long run. This is called deliberate practice. Without deliberate practice, you won't improve much even though you do it day in, day out in the long run. I will cover about deliberate practice in my next episode. But for now, this is all that I had. Do subscribe so that you do not miss out on my upcoming episodes. Hope you like this episode. See you then.